I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you to Michael Burns and his team, to all the amazing volunteers, to our friends and families, and to the people of Toronto.
Imagine flying across the world, spending tens of thousands on a venue, security, production, only to step backstage, pull back the curtain, and see rows of empty seats. Not a handful, dozens. An entire room built for 300 people, with barely anyone in it. That's the moment the story begins. Not with headlines, not with controversy, but with silence. The kind of silence that says something isn't working anymore. And at the center of that moment,
Prince Harry.
Because what happened in Melbourne in April 2026 wasn't just an awkward event. It was a signal, a turning point, a moment that forced people to ask a question they had been avoiding for years. What happened to the man who once drew crowds of thousands? Let's rewind. 2018. Australia. The streets were packed. People waited for hours, some in the rain, just to catch a glimpse of Harry and Meghan Markle. It wasn't just excitement. It was energy, hope. They were seen as the future. Modern, relatable, different. They didn't just attend events. They owned them. Now fast forward 8 years. Same country. Same global recognition. But a completely different reality.
No massive crowds.
No overwhelming demand. Just a small conference room, and a struggle to fill even that. So what went wrong? Because this didn't happen overnight. It built slowly, quietly, until it couldn't be ignored anymore. Start with the event itself. The Inner Edge Psychosocial Safety Summit. A serious topic, mental health and workplace safety. Important, necessary. But then came the price tag. Over $2,300 for a ticket, at a time when people are already struggling with living costs. That's not just expensive. That's out of reach. And then something telling happened. The sold-out message disappeared. Quietly. Suddenly, tickets were slashed. Half price. Then, even lower. Virtual access added. Social media posts urging people to attend. Not excitement. Desperation. Because when an event goes from fully booked to please come, in a matter of weeks,
Something isn't right.
Now, add one more detail. Harry's reported speaking fee. Around $70,000 Australian dollars. So while ticket prices dropped, costs stayed high. And the math stopped making sense. But here's the real story. Because this isn't just about one event. It's about something bigger.
A shift.
A change in how people see him. After stepping away from royal duties in 2020, Harry and Meghan entered a completely different world. Hollywood, media deals, big money, massive expectations, Netflix,
Spotify,
book deals. For a moment, it looked unstoppable. But fast forward a few years, and that picture looks very different. The Spotify deal?
gone.
The Netflix partnership? Reduced. Projects delayed. Momentum slowed. And with that, something else faded. Public confidence. Because here's the truth about influence. It doesn't disappear all at once. It fades, quietly, until one day, you walk into a room expecting attention and realize it's not there anymore. And then came Australia. But this time, it wasn't a royal tour. No official welcome. No state backing. Just a private visit. A speaking engagement. A different kind of presence. Even the structure of the trip told a story. No large public walkabouts. No open crowd interactions. Just carefully managed appearances. Controlled moments. Because when you're unsure of the reception, you don't take risks. And the reaction? Mixed. Some supportive. Others far more critical. Questions about security costs. Concerns about public funding. Debates about whether this was a royal visit or a brand tour. And that word, brand, keeps coming up. Because that's what this is becoming about. Not just identity, not just purpose, but perception. In 2018, Harry didn't need a brand. He had something stronger. Institution.
History.
A role that came with meaning. In 2026, he has to build that meaning himself. And that's where things get complicated. Because building a personal brand is very different from representing a monarchy. One brings instant relevance. The other has to earn it. And that's why the Melbourne moment matters. Because empty seats don't lie. They don't spin. They don't protect. They reveal.
So now the question isn't just what happened in that room.
It's what happens next. Can Prince Harry rebuild that connection? Can he redefine his role in a way that people respond to? Or is this the beginning of something else? A slow shift from global influence to something much smaller, much quieter, much harder to recover from? Because moments like this don't just pass. They leave marks. They change perception. They force decisions. And right now, everything is pointing to one thing: a turning point. Not loud, not dramatic, but undeniable. So watch closely, because what happens after this won't just define one event. It will define the future of everything he's trying to build.